If you want to just sort out some terrible thing that happened yesterday at work that we disappointed a client or whatever, everybody rushes to blame, find somebody to blame.
Yep.
But what if we just all acknowledged our role in the mess up? And we probably
Yeah.
all had some little part of it because that's how things are. It's always the perfect storm.
Yeah, I would even see even taking the role in the mess up still will trigger some level of defensiveness. So I would want to hold it more in a weird wondrous space. Like, what
Oh,
is it that we weren't seeing, or what do we see the assumptions we were making? So it's almost like turning it into a learning opportunity instead of forcing any
mm,
single individual to think, okay, that was my role in it. and
right.
and it's this wonderment which I miss in so much, and it happens so quickly because even if we use the word role, there has a slight implication that somebody has to take responsibility for whatever happened. And I want
Mhm.
really to say, wow, there's a paradigm which is far different, which just says things happen, and now we have this credible opportunity to kind of check in with what really were we missing, or what can we learn. And if you hold that
Mhm.
space, things will figure themselves out. People will say, oh my god, I screwed up. But you don't get there by trying to get them to say it. You get there by giving them no reason to feel uncomfortable fully owning whatever it is they feel like they need to own.
It's probably a chief source of friction in work groups and families.
Yeah.
Have you ever been around a family and you're out maybe doing something fun and something happens between the teenager and the parents, and then the parents just want to go for accountability right there in the moment in front of you? It's so embarrassing. But
Yeah.
I think you're right. There's no way we're inviting any kind of sense of collaboration in what went wrong. We're just we're just
Yeah.
pinning people to the wall. It's just that is
Yeah.
such a great, yeah, I love the angle of wonder. Do you want to talk to
Yeah.
us about wonder? Any other aspects of wonder that you
Well, I mean,
find in the book?
I was going to go to a specific story on this because on the
Yes,
weekend,
please.
two weekends past, I have a friend whose family, they're from the Midwest of the
Mhm.
U.S., a little bit more, call it more conservative. So the parents are always trying to draw up conversations with their kids, and the kids aren't responding to them. Any conversation about we're talking, first year in college, and last
Yeah.
year in high school, sort of range. And and I've been around the family because I think I have a bit of a strange coaching practice, and that there's no separation. So when I work with somebody, I go and stay at their home. We deal with the children. We deal with the death of a loved one. I mean, there's no boundary, and that's sort of, so I'm part of their family. But when they show up here, which they did, and then we have our barbecue, like the questions are all like very, hey, what's going on with the boyfriend? Like, and they would never respond to the parent this like openly because they feel
Yeah.
anxious that the parent is going to come with some assumption or some statement. But
Mhm.
when I'm there, they're just, they're bubbly, sharing, talk, and the parents are looking at me like I didn't know any of this ever,
Yes.
and 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 the reason, and the kids will smile and they'll laugh, and Ronnie will say to me, because she'll watch this dynamic, and she'll say, Andy, it's almost like you're a child with them, like you're
Mm,
really experiencing the joy of first dating, and the frustration of whatever it is that happens
yeah.
when you're first, and they can see it clearly in my eyes. There's not someone asking them to put them on the spot, to give them advice. There's just someone actually really wanting to feel and see and understand. And there's something that one doesn't understand, is the intention, and that's a big part of the book, as well as the intention that you ask a question is felt so deeply by the other that they will respond differently if the intention is sort of more trying to get you to hold accountability or really wonder. Yeah.
Absolutely. Oh, I love that. The intention. I've been talking to people about that lately, about how I hold my temper in circumstances that maybe you just want to lose it.
Yeah.
And I think that we all have antennas for intention.
Yeah.
I think that's what you're talking about. There's like these really subtle little things that we are hardwired probably from 35,000 years ago to pick up on the nuances of intention. Think how
Yes.
important that was back in the caveman days, right? So
Yeah.
these are in us. We have it. We can't walk away from it, and we're
Yeah.
using them every minute. And
Well,
if we say that exists, then what if we use that to diffuse situations? What if we said, "Oh, I can feel their intention is actually quite a lot better than their question."
yeah, I do it all the time, you know? Like I hear your question and also the intention behind it, and then we can discuss that, or I can take it as a good intention and answer it accordingly.